Nobody in my family were ever boat builders, not a one. Of course, I grew up down in Stonington, and that's a lot of lobster boats down there. And well, most of the people in my family, uncles and whatnot, they were all fishermen. And so that's probably how it started, influenced by that down there.
So you were a young guy to start, 22 years old to get into?
Yeah, I just bought a hull from Repco down in Gouldsboro and finished the thing off, and just a spec boat. Did it on my father's lawn right up here. And built a plastic building around it and had it sold before it was even finished. And then they had orders for a couple more before I got it out of there. So that's when we built that shop next door. And I worked in there alone pretty much for the first couple of years. My father would come down and help me once in a while. But and he basically, to make a long story short, after 3 or 4 years, he quit what he was doing. He went to work. We went to work building boats full time then. I was doing it anyway, and then he did. Been at it ever since. In the beginning, when I first started, it was mostly work boats. That's what I was looking at. That's what I was aiming at. And probably about 1 out of every 10 was a pleasure boat. And then over the years, it kind of changed. It got to be about a 50-50 mix.
Do you advertise or?
Most of it's just strictly word of mouth. I'll bet 9 out of 10 of the boats we sell is simply because they know somebody that's got one.
What's the optimum size lobster boat?
Depends on where you want to fish. Some will tell you it's over 40 feet, and some will tell you it's only 20 feet, and everything in between. I think probably as an average, most boats fall in that mid 30-foot range.
Well, I noticed you guys have lobster boat races out here. How did the lobster boat races get going?
I guess officially it started down in Jonesport. Of course, down there's not much else to do except race boats. So. And then it just kind of spread, and now it's way bigger than it ever was. It's kind of funny you mentioned that. A long time ago, when I first started racing, back in the early 80s, I actually had somebody from one of the propeller companies tell me that we would never get these boats above 40 miles an hour. It would be impossible. Well, we're pushing 60 now, so. The whole course is only about an honest 3/4 of a mile, a little less than a mile. Basically, it's nothing but a big drag race, all it is. You just kind of point it and punch it. As long as you can go in a straight line, you've got it made. Gathered up the trophies here a few years ago, and I had well over 100 of them, and 9 out of 10 of them were first place.
So what makes a boat go fast?
Power's got a lot to do with it. Hull shape's got a lot to do with it. You got to have one that's really designed for it. There's a lot of lobster boats out there. You could put all the power in the world in them, you still wouldn't get them to go over 40 miles an hour.
Hey, how hard is it to put an engine in and out of a lobster boat?
Well, the way I build them it's not that difficult because we build the boat so it's easy to get the engines in and out.
How have you seen building techniques change over the 35 years you've been doing it?
Of course, now we're using a lot more composite stuff than we did it. In the beginning, everybody was just strictly solid glass, and you couldn't even talk a fisherman into a cord one. And basically, another thing I've noticed is the quality of the boats is a lot better than it used to be. Well, you got to build them so they don't come apart, that's for sure. Around here, we also try to build them light. Saves fuel, and of course, I'm always looking to gain a little speed. So that's the big thing in me. So the faster, the better.